Hello and welcome back to a new video here on the Tradeciety YouTube channel. In this video I will explain 5 different ways how you can place a stop loss order on your charts. Of course there are many ways how you can actually place a stop loss order, and there's usually no right or wrong, no better or worse, but it is very important that you choose a consistent approach so that first of all your trades have roughly the same basis, which is very important for analysis, but it's also important for peace of mind when you actually know your trading approach, when there's no guesswork, when you can trade with confidence, when you exactly know how you approach a trade, how is your stop loss take profit approach. This can make a very big impact and a very big difference instead of just moving around, second guessing, wondering, asking other traders. So let's start with a moving average approach. And generally, since I'm mostly a trend trader, we will talk about trend trading or stop loss in the light of trends. So I choose a stop loss with a 25 period setting. It doesn't really matter whether you take 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There should not be a significant difference. And well, moving averages obviously are great trend following tools. And they only work during trends. They don't work during ranges. Very important. And generally how you would use a stop loss with a moving average is that once you have entered into a trade, for whatever reason this might be, maybe like here we had something like a reversal breakout pattern. On the lower time frames, this is some type of head and shoulders. Let's say we are short from when this pattern broke. We even gapped for the entry, so this is a nice confirmation. And then the general way how you would place your stop loss is straightforward. You would just use the moving average and then put your stop loss on the other side. So, and then as the price moves along, you would adjust your stop loss. Very important in this context is that you don't place your stop loss right at the moving average. That is a very big mistake and should not be done. Why? Because it is very well known that many traders use stop loss approaches where they use a moving average, and therefore the big players, the smart money, it is very obvious to them where traders will have their stop loss orders, and then you can see things like stop runs or liquidity fishing or stop loss hunting, which many traders believe that's what their broker is doing, but actually that's usually not the case. What usually happens is that the traders just place their stop loss at such an obvious level that it is very easy for the professionals to spot those areas. So don't put your stop loss right at the moving average, and this applies to all the techniques that we learn in this video. Always give your room a little bit of space. And you can see there are certain periods during ranges where the market will brush through a moving average. Then you have to evaluate when do you move your stop loss actually along the moving average, or you could also do, if you don't want to become the victim of those little retracements, if you want to smoothen out your moving average, you could choose a wider moving average setting. So let's look, for example, how 35 looks, and you can see obviously much smoother. You could counter the effect of the stop runs, or not the stop runs, but the general consolidations here during trends where the market moves sideways and the moving average will catch up until eventually one point when the trend is over, which actually happened here, interestingly, with an inverse head and shoulders. Then the moving average was broken as well, and you'd be out of your trade. So this is the first good approach. Bollinger Bands are very similar, obviously, because the center is using a moving average as well, and we can adjust the period setting to whatever we want. So let's say we use a 30 period moving average, and you can say during trends usually the price will move close to the outer Bollinger Bands and at least between the moving average and the outer band. So you can see when the moving average or when the trend is in play, then the price will often stay close to the outer bands. And when you have a reversal and when the trend is over, you usually see a crossover from the one side of the moving average, from the one side of the Bollinger Bands So here, for example, we make a complete reversal to the other side of the Bollinger Bands, and then following, you can see then the uptrend was started. So this is another approach. It's very, very similar to the moving average approach, but having the outer Bollinger Bands is an additional help to make sense of charts and also trend direction, momentum, strength. The ATR is, well, it's the average true range indicator. And what it does, it shows you how much the price is fluctuating. So how large are the candles? Is the market moving a lot or not? And you can see then when the candles are increasing in size, then also the ATR is increasing. You can see that here. Here you can see that we suddenly have larger candles. And then when the market is in a sideways phase, such as here, then the ATR will go down, indicating that the price doesn't fluctuate as much. So what do you do in such a case? You can combine the ATR with the general moving average approach. Here, for example, we can use the moving average as our standard stop loss approach, and then you can use the ATR to define how far away from the moving average you want to place your stop loss. So when the ATR is quite low, such as here and here, then you would usually move your stop loss closer to the moving average and here. But you can see as soon as the ATR increases, which also coincides often obviously with pullbacks where volatility generally increases here as well, then you would use a wider buffer between the moving average and the stop loss. So the ATR shows you a little bit how fast the price is moving, what is the candle range, and this is it can be very helpful to determine if you should use a wide stop loss or if you can use a narrower stop loss. Very, very helpful as well. Obviously, you can use natural support and resistance, which is something that I use in my trading a lot. So let me get rid of all this. And what I do when I trade a trend is that I have my initial stop loss. So let's actually say we traded here this inverse or this head and shoulders with a breakout on the pattern. In the first instance, you can either use your stop loss. Let's make this in red. You can either put your stop loss above the high or above this neckline, and then as the price progresses, here let's move in a little bit so that we can see it clearer, then you would use and you would look for natural support and resistance. So when is the market moving into a sideways phase, when is it putting in a new support and resistance area, when is it making a new swing high, and then you can see here, for example, was one, and then you would just move your stop loss once you have confirmed such a sideways phase. Obviously, we can only know that this level has been created when the market has moved away from it. So that's important. Don't move your stop loss too close and too soon. Very, very important. Here is then another one. We have a little bit of a resistance here, another swing point here. Then here, as the price continues, we have another swing high. And very important, you always want to wait when you move your stop loss until the price has made a new low. So here the price made only a new low once we broke here through this previous low, and then you could move your stop loss here. And then as we go on, we have here another swing high, the price moves lower, and then here is eventually when the price completely reverses, it breaks this trend structure, turns into an uptrend, and then the trend to the downside is over and you might start a new uptrend. So this is also an approach how you could use it. You can combine the ATR, for example, with this approach, and then when the ATR is high, you would adjust your stop loss with a wider buffer, or when the ATR is low and going down, you can use a lower buffer between your resistance level and the stop loss. And that's generally how you would use, or how you could use, different stop approaches. Again, there's no right or wrong, no better or worse. It really comes down to what makes sense to you, what fits to your trading style, and then try and play around with it. The most important thing is that you have consistency in your approach. And once you have a consistency in an approach, not only can you trade with more confidence, but you also have a clear plan, you know actually what you're doing, and then consistency of results are often the likely outcome.